Right now, nice chilled spot, change of scenery from my apartment for pretty much every video. I've done a intro for this video on Monday, but it was a little bit drawn out. There was a good few points in there which I'm going to put in towards the end of this video, which is, you know, within the title, prep hacks, managing your fatigue, hunger, all that kind of thing. Right now, a little prep update. Today is Thursday 22nd, so I had my check-in on Tuesday. We moved Clen from 40 to 60 micrograms, and we're now, I think, 72 days out. So yeah, a little over 10 weeks in a really good spot. Today was a new low, 107.4. My lowest weight so far had been 107.7 last week, but that was also after like 2 or 3 days without growth hormone in there, so obviously there's a drop off of fullness. I noticed, like, yeah, it was a new low, but it looked very flat, whereas even now at 107.4 I don't look as flat. So today it's a genuine true low. It's still looking pretty good. Had those high days across Saturday, Sunday, so obviously weight came up a little bit after that, but as I said, 2-3 days thereafter usually hit a new low. It's exactly what we've done. I got some training footage yesterday. We got calves and push session wrapped up. Got most of it on the camera battery died, so then I got the rest of it on my phone except for 2 sets on a pec deck. Session was sick, everything still moving very fucking well. Peri-workout nutrition, what you're eating around your training window, becomes of more and more importance as general caloric intake is going to reduce. You need to be more specific with that timing to make sure you can prioritize your training. The training being what built the tissue, it means it's what's going to keep the tissue there, so keeping that as a high priority as always. But yeah, calves and push session coming up next. After that, we'll have a little bit of discussion on, you know, that topic, managing hunger, etc. on prep. Today we're finally getting the podcast back on, so Joe Gann is going to be featuring. Alex will be coming down. Stay tuned. Enjoy my black coffee and go do cardio shortly. Peace out. Overload that length range a little bit more. We have obviously the benefit of this prime machine, adjust the resistance profile. 2 sets there, and the next 2 sets are just going to be in the length range. As you go through it, it's going to drop off more and more, because what you'll notice is your ability to contract the muscle to get it fully short into that short position will drop off as fatigue accumulates. So we'll prioritize that as much as we can from the start, and then accommodate it as fatigue builds up. Delts are still a focus. That's the body part that's improved the most for me in the last year. That's again by doing these cues, being really strict with execution and more fucking volume. You know what I mean? Like 4 sets, it's boring, it's long, it works. It's still about how you do these, bringing intensity to each of those. Probably heard this cue, but it needs to be maintained because I cannot stress how much times I get clients sending me through videos, it's just not being done. People also complaining that they're like getting sore shoulders or their neck hurts or whatever it is with their upper back. With a lateral raise, the only thing you should be thinking about is driving your elbows out as wide as possible towards that wall to each side of you, okay? You're not thinking about going up. When you're doing that, you're just going to bring your traps into it. You're going to start shrugging. Then you get these impingements around the shoulder, around the scapula. Really think about driving those out wide as possible. Doesn't matter how high they come up, just make sure you're starting that movement there with the delt. You'll see when I'm in this position, I do have a bit of internal rotation, and I let my hands come in front of me. It gives the lateral delt a better position to, you know, take that load. Whereas if we're just thinking about it going directly out to the side, we're going to get impingement at the front, we're going to get more work done from the rear delt. So again, a little bit of internal rotation, let your hands sit in front of you like this and go out wide as possible. So with this low incline, on this low incline Smith, I do a dead stop, but the issue with these is obviously there's big gaps, so one of them might be too low where you're not actually getting the dead stop, and the other one might be too high, so you're not actually getting it into a length of range. Okay, so what I do is I get a lifting strap, I'll fold this up here, like that, and then I'll put it in between the wedges. And obviously you can make that a little bit taller or shorter depending on what range you need, but again, get a little bit, improvise if needed to try and get stuff to suit you. Once you have something that works for you, stick with it. Right now I want to talk about something that, you know, pops up quite frequently, not just with myself, but it will happen a lot with clients, whether it be for competition prep, photo shoot prep, or even just dieting in general. And obviously it pertains to so much of what you do. It's the mindset behind it. You know, what are you doing it for? Who are you doing it for? How do you perceive these obstacles, struggles, and, you know, periods of low energy, potentially lower mood? It's not a cause for concern. You know what I mean? It's about shifting that mindset and not saying like, oh, I'm really hungry, I'm tired, I'm flat, whatever. Shift that mindset and say, you know what, yeah, I'm actually a bit hungry. That means we're probably achieving that fat loss goal. And really just not being pessimistic and saying, yeah, this is going to suck, but if it starts to get difficult, it means that you're kind of getting somewhere, you're getting into uncharted territory. So it is really important to kind of, you know, keep that mindset. There are a few things you can do to manage hunger, and I have kind of like sprinkled in some of those. I'm not going to do like a full video on like, you know, hunger management and like prep hacks, because a lot of those prep hacks will cause other issues. When you see people, you know, excessively over volumizing their food, it's just going to cause more digestive stress. Another big factor there as well is like if you're using all these things to, you know, expand stomach volume, when that food passes and your stomach is still expanded, that's a cue to your body that you're hungry, you know what I mean? So kind of getting used to the feeling of your stomach being smaller will manage your appetite a lot better. Take these things into consideration. Sugar-free drinks are fine. Doesn't mean you should go smash 2 litres of Pepsi Max. Doesn't mean you should be, you know, eating a full dish of sugar-free jelly every single day just because you can. That stuff is just going to make it more difficult when it's not there, and it just increases that food focus. Prep hacks 101 essentially is just your mindset. Hunger is going to be a part of it, and it's not an issue. Again, accepting periods where you're going to feel flat, you're going to feel weak. I've had a few of them. Nothing excessive, because again, my food's still relatively high, but there was like one pull session last week where I hit a new low weigh-in and I looked great but didn't fucking feel it, and that is, again, that wasn't a red flag. That's not to say just something going wrong. It says, okay, now you're flat, push through here and we add more food in when we can. If it's a luxury that you can't afford, if you're behind schedule with condition, you have to suck it up. That's all contextualized within, you know, how you run your off season. Something we will do like a full recap on, because there's a big difference in the context where you lie within your off season. It's not just prep or off season. If you're 4 weeks post show, you shouldn't look like you're 6 months post show. You shouldn't look like you're a year, 2 years into your off season. When you do a mini cut or after prep, you should not need to diet again within at least 4 to 5 months if you do manage things well. Random ballpark figures, but I find that to be very true. Right guys, so I'm going to wrap the video up here. It is Friday 23rd of June, 71 days out. Had my check-in today. Adjustments are in. As I mentioned, we hit a new low yesterday. We held that this morning even after a rest day yesterday, which was nice to see. I'll put a little bit of visuals up here. And adjustments now moving forward for the next week. Just got in from Zach there, so steps moving from 12.5 to 14k, cardio from 30 up to 40 minutes. Along with that, we've been running kind of like the high days around 5,000 calories each week, and last week we done 2 of those days. Tomorrow we're taking just like our usual high day, which is 550 carbs. So I'll put the numbers up on screen here, but I think that works out as like 3,000 calories less across the week, along with, you know, an extra maybe 700 calories burned from the additional cardio push this week. So I'm expecting a big movement next week, but again, we'll see all that in the week coming in the next video, which will be moving into the single digit territory into 9 weeks out. So it's going to get fun. Well, it's going to get tough, but also fun, and I'm expecting bigger changes, bigger drops next week into the 106s, into the business end of the season. So stay tuned guys. Like, share, subscribe, appreciate it.